And joining us now is political analyst Froilan Calilung. Froilan, thank you so much for joining us. How significant is this joint session of Congress wherein Japan's Prime Minister will be speaking to our politicians?
Well, I think, Rico, this is very, very important. And I think this is the first time that the Japanese premier will be speaking in front of our parliament. And I think he really would like to lay down a very important foreign policy. And I think this is going to change the way geostrategic relations are actually being seen, especially in the Indo-Pacific. And I think this will also be important insofar as how Japan will react to ASEAN, considering the fact that that ASEAN is actually being seen as an organization that is relatively weak in its stance, particularly with regards to China. So I think this is a very, very momentous occasion, not only for Japan but also for the Philippines.
And we've seen in that previous report how reliable the Japanese are when it comes to making pledges and investments here in the Philippines. And we all know, Froilan, that the Marcos administration recently canceled negotiations with China on several major infrastructure projects. Do you think that Japan will step in to fund these railway and infrastructure projects?
I think so. Primarily because from what we have seen, especially when the last visit of our President Bongbong Marcos actually took place in Japan in February of this year, he was able to get around 13 billion in total pledges, and I think some of this have already been in the pipeline. So I think what Japan right now is doing insofar as the OSA is concerned, or this official security assistance, is actually a testament to what they have already done in the past, particularly with the OTA. This time around, I think because this is an initiative that is being created out of the initiative of the Japanese premier, I think we will be seeing more funding and more solid backing on the part of Japan. So I think this is a very good indication insofar as our strategic defense is concerned, because at least we have a strong ally right now in the case of Japan.
And of course, the Prime Minister's visit comes as relations between the Philippines and China grow more tense over encounters in the West Philippine Sea. What do you make of this Reciprocal Access Agreement, or the RAA? Will this really help the Philippines in defense and security?
Yes, definitely. Well, we need to understand, Rico, that prior to this, Japan has already been giving us a lot of assistance, particularly in our patrol operations as well as in our radar capabilities. But with the coming of this RAA, and I hope that this will be cemented as soon as possible time, this will provide more avenues for people-to-people transfer, meaning to say our troops, our military will be able to enjoy what we call capability enhancement activities and skills transfer coming from the Japanese military, for that matter. And I think this will be very good for us. Not only that, I think it will also be able to solidify other ways to beef up further our capability. I think talks are already in the pipeline regarding the possible inclusion of submarine capability mechanisms that will employ, or that will enable our troops to be able to learn how to utilize submarine mechanisms. So I think this will be really beneficial for us, and also this will be very good because Japan has been very truthful regarding this OSA. Remember that there are several other countries that Japan already signed this RAA with, like the case of Great Britain and Australia. And I think in August of 2023, Japan has already sent fifth generation F-35 stealth fighters to Australia. So I think with the agreement, I think Japan is really walking the talk with regards how they will be able to fortify our defenses. And I think this will be a very good chance for us to again further beef up our defense in the Indo-Pacific,
Yeah.
and again
Froilan?
come up with a stronger stance against China.
All right, we're talking about defense. We're talking about security, pledges, investments in the country. What about power? Can Japan provide assistance to the Philippines to develop civilian nuclear energy, which basically a lot of people here are split on, but of course we've seen this technology being used in Japan.
Yes, definitely, Rico. I think this is something that we could definitely learn from them in terms of skills transfer and capability mechanisms. Now, I think Japan has been very successful in the utilization of their nuclear plants. And yes, there were instances wherein there were some lapses, as what happened during the you remember the devastating
Fukushima.
earthquake that occurred several years back. But when you look at the success rate of Japan, especially
Yeah.
with how they're able to utilize their nuclear capability in terms of
Froilan?
improving the energy sector, I think it's very, very commendable.
All right. We are indeed embarking on stronger relations on all fronts with the Japanese. But we also have to discuss our dark history in World War II and, of course, the issue of the comfort women. Do you think that this will be addressed
Yes.
during the Prime Minister's visit to the Philippines?
Usually, Rico, things like this, especially those that concerns contentious issues like the comfort women, are not really being addressed, especially in state visits. But with regards to Japan and their honesty and ethic and their sincerity, particularly with their war reparations and in relation to the comfort women, which I think they have already been settling for quite a long time already. I think the time is now right for us to move past beyond what we had in the past and embark on more productive and fruitful mechanisms, particularly addressing the
Right.
current situation, wherein I think Japan could really help us in all fronts: economic, geostrategic, political, and even in the social-cultural aspects. So I believe that this particular talks about the comfort women will be not in the thick of the issue, so to speak. It will not be a centerpiece
Okay.
discussion come the Japanese premier's visit, because I think he's very adamant that their focus now is more on the strengthening the geostrategic alliance, more on the security dynamics of Japan and the Philippines.
Thank you so much for your insights. Political analyst Froilan Calilung.